Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well. I got a friend gave me a teal a couple of days ago, and I've been keeping him to do this video because, again, I noticed on YouTube there isn't much videos kind of demonstrating what feathers you can take off a teal and stuff like that. There's one or two on it, but nothing of really great detail or that. But I said I'd do one up, seeing as my friend got me a teal and gave it to me there, so perfect opportunity to do it. So like I said, like, a teal is a member of the duck family. Okay, it's a good bit smaller than a mallard. It'd probably be less than half the size of a mallard, so it's a very, very small little duck, but a good duck nonetheless. Great eating on it. But today we're going to go through the feathers and what we can use for fly tying and what we take for fly tying. I generally won't skin or preserve a full skin on any kind of waterfowl myself. I do it, I prefer not to do it. It's just kind of a preference for my own, and the reason being is because there's all waterfowl have a thick layer of fat under the skin, and that needs to be cleaned. It needs to be cleaned properly and thoroughly to get that fat out to preserve it. So it's just, there's a lot of work in it, just for fly tying. So what I like to do with any kind of waterfowl is just take the feathers and just then, you know, clean and treat the feathers and put them away in bags. So we'll begin anyway, and kicking off, being a duck, or being a member of the duck family, the teal will have CDC feathers. Now they're smaller. There is a preen gland, so all ducks will have the preen gland. So again, in the same area, but the CDC feathers will be very, very small. Okay, and if I lift them there, you can see all these feathers here. They're your CDC feathers. I'll just move that light so we can get a good kind of view on the have a little light here just shining down, so just so you can get a good view of the feathers and stuff. So and just move it around so you can get that. And just adjust it there. So yeah, so we'll just shine that light in there. So because it's a small duck, the feathers are going to be smaller, and they're not going to be as easy to see as a big mallard. But you won't get many CDC feathers off this duck either. I'll just zoom her in there for you. You won't get many feathers, CDC feathers off this. You'll probably get they're very, very small, very, very small. But if I take them there, you'll see them there. Very small. Now these would be perfect little feathers for your size 20 and smaller dry flies. So if you're tying little CDC flies, these little feathers here, you're still getting around the 25, kind of 30 feathers from it, but it'll be very small. And there's your preen gland then, as you can see there. So this little black thing here is your preen gland. So that's where the duck rubs its beak and spreads the oil from that gland all over its feathers. Just zooming back out then. Just want to get the zoom properly on this, guys. Sorry, you know. So like I always say on every bird I'm kind of demonstrating, every feather can be used for fly tying. It's just what do you want to use or what you want to take from it. But I always maintain every feather can be used for fly tying. And on this duck, or on this teal, there's a lot of good feathers. They're soft hackle feathers, so perfect for tying little soft hackle wets or nymphs, hackling your nymphs and stuff like that. All these feathers can be used, right? The most prominent feathers on a teal are its flank feathers, and if I lift up if I lift up the wing and turn it around, and you can see all this feather here, this is to be the flank feather. And on a duck, on a mallard, they'd be bigger, but the barn is more prominent on a teal flank feather. I'm going to pluck one out now, and I'm going to show you. So the barn is very, very prominent on it, and these are really good feathers. These are the most prominent feathers. These are the most sought after feathers from a teal, is the flank. And like I said, all birds are the same, so all birds will have the flank and the shoulder feathers, and they're all the same. So, and like I've demonstrated in previous videos with ducks and stuff, to harvest the flank feather, it's in one set, like, so it is. It's in a group of feathers there. You can get your feather. It's slightly smaller on a teal, but get your finger in underneath and pull out, and they'll come out in a set. Now you won't get them all, so just, you know, pull them out. Then you've got the slightly smaller ones that I like to kind of pull and bag up separate. So what we'll do is I want to bag these up in sets. So I'm going to put the right flank feathers just here, out of view, just here, and keep the loose ones. I'm going to keep the loose ones over here. So any loose feathers I pull from the duck, I'm going to just keep there so I can bag them up. And you can see that the prominent barn on them, like they're a really good feather. And you'll tie like with teal, most like the most flies, you know, they're used for. You can tie any wet fly. You know, these feathers will be mainly used for wet flies, wings, tails, on wet flies. Teal feathers are good for salmon flies as well, including the Peter Ross, the teal blue and silver. So they're good. You know, so what I like to do with the flank feathers, if I pull them here, is I like to, much the same as if you were tying in nymphs and stuff, and you were using like the partridge feather to create wings, or sorry, to create legs on your nymphs. I like to do that with these teal feathers, and you can see them there. You can see like the little barn on them. Make great legs for nymphs. So that's what I like to use them. I also I use them for wings, to make great wings for wet flies. Any wet fly, you know, you can experiment, but you know, they make great tails. So again, I tail my nymphs with them. Again, I tail my wet flies and stuff with them. So yeah, it's just they're the prominent feathers. But and then what I want to do is when I come back around, I'm leaving some slightly smaller ones just down near the leg, so we'll just take them, and I want to come around, so I'm going to turn the duck around, lift up the wing. It's been hanging now for a few days, so he's very very stiff, but lift up the wing, and you can see there then, just pulling that wing back and out of the way, you've got all these barbed feathers there, really, really prominent. Now, like I said, in a mallard duck you won't get them. We'll just put them over there, left and right. You won't get them as barred as that. So these are really, really, really good feather for them. These are what you'll be buying in shops or stuff like that, for teal feathers. To be these really good to dye as well. I like to dye these ginger and olives. I tie a lot of olive flies, and I like to dye these. And then the wet, or the loose ones, then the ones we didn't grab, I'm just going to pull them and mix them. I'm not really bothered about the loose ones, but we don't want to leave any on the duck. Perfect. So we've got our lefts, just out of view of the camera a bit. We've got our rights. There's one there, just pull the top off it. We have our CDC, and we have our loose flank here. So just again, just keeping. I just haven't just kind of stored out camera a little bit there. The other thing then are the shoulder feathers. Again, there's a really good prominent barn on the shoulder feathers, and can be used for the same thing. You can use them for the same thing as the flank. So again, if you know, in a duck, this is where your bronze mallard would be. So just above the wing. We don't call them bronze mallard on a teal. they're just your shoulder feathers, but pulling them out, bring them over, and you can actually see, again, look at the barn on them. So again, they make really good legs on nymphs. I like to hackle my nymphs with them, and they make good wings for wet flies and stuff. So you know, really good. So shoulder feathers are not to be left on it, in my opinion. So I'll pull them. So again, like the flanks, I keep it right and the left. And I like to dye them as well, and then I'll also keep the loose. So any loose feathers I pull out, like these ones here, I keep them in a loose pile. I'll just keep them in a loose pile just out of the camera there. So again, just pull them, make sure don't leave any on them, into the loose. That's perfect. And then you can get your other side. So we come over onto our other side, we pull that wing out, basically down. You want to pull that wing down, okay? And then get your finger underneath, and you'll have all these here. They'll be your, like I said, on a big duck there, you'll be a bronze mallard. But we don't call them bronze mallard on the teal, they're just normal your shoulder feathers. And then we have our loose, which are again really good, prominent barn on them. Good for tailing, good for legs, good for wings. On a teal, we've got this lovely green. Let me try and get a good view for you there. There's a good wing here. On a teal, we've got this really nice green fleck here. So on a mallard it'd be blue or purple, but here it's green on a teal. And it's, again, I like to keep these. These make great wings on wet flies. So again, if I'm tying small wet flies, I like to use them. Okay, so they're really good. So I will take them. The primaries. So you have your primary feathers here, your quills. These are a great substitute for starling feathers. So if you can't get your hand on starling feathers, but you can readily easily get your hands on teal wing quills, then no, these will suffice instead of starling feathers, starling wing quills. Again, good for little, good for, keep them in the left and right when you pull them out, but these are good for making small dry flies. So again, you can, you know, wing your wets with these. You can wing, all I like to use is, I like to use these for small dries. So instead of trying to put an awkward kind of, you know, trying to wing your dry fly with a mallard feather and trying to get down to size, these will be easier, you know. So again, left and rights. So this is our right wing, so we're just going to pull these. What I will do with these then is, any feathers I've pulled, I'm going to bag them up. I'll label them. I'm going to put them in the freezer. I like to freeze my feathers for a couple of weeks, as you've seen probably on my other videos on how to treat. So I like to clean or freeze the feathers for a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. And what I like to do then is I'll treat them, and I've various treatment processes, videos on YouTube there that you can fall back and look at there. And what I'll also do is I'll put the link into the description of this video as well. So I'm just pulling out the green feathers there, just out of that there, and you can see it there now when I bring it up to you there, just to the light. I don't know if the camera's picking it up there, but you can see the green fleck along there. There's a lovely green iridescence on it, and again, they make great wings for wet flies. Really attract the trouts to do. For that there, I'm not going to take any more off that. That's the wing basically taken there. But we'll come back around onto the other side. I just want to clear these out of the way a bit, guys. So we've got our little bit of CDC there. I just generally mix that with my mallard CDC, the CDC from the teal. It all goes into the one bag. As you've probably heard me mention before, I tie a lot with CDC. It's predominantly my main tying material, because it's just some of my favourite patterns are CDC. So it's the flies I like to fish, and CDC make great flies. So the left side, pulling out the flank feathers, or pulling out the primary feathers out of the wings. Keep them in a left and a right. It's not. It's easy if you mix them up. It's easy separate them. You know, they do stand out like so. It's not a big deal if you mix them up. I just for easiness, I'll always bag them up left and rights, and just process them then. So I'm just gonna take them out. So we'll come down. When it starts to get small like that, then you know you're coming to the end of the primaries. Okay, and again on this one here, this wing here, the green feathers have kind of, they're a little bit damaged, but nothing. A hot kettle and steam won't repair. So just again, and you've seen various videos from other people on YouTube there on how to repair feathers. I know Dave McPhail has a good one there on how he uses a kettle to repair his feathers. So it's a really good process, good technique. But we can apply that process to this, and just you can see the feathers they're a little bit damaged from where they were shot. So we'll just take them out. So again, left and right, and I'm just going to. I can separate them afterwards, but I'm just going to. I'm going to put all the greens together. So we have our left and right wing quills. So that's the wings. That's both wings stripped there now. So it is. What you can take is the back feathers. So the back feathers or the shoulder feathers basically come up and they come down along the bird here. Okay, so you have the neck, you have down onto the shoulder, and again, there's really good prominent barn on these. You can see it there. Now just put the light onto them, and you can see the barn in that there is really good. And again, what I like to do is just pull them and just keep them there. So again, just labeling them up, shoulder feathers, because these will make great little hackles for your nymphs and stuff, and they give a great effect and really make your nymphs pop. That's what I like to use them for. I like to hackle my nymphs with these, and to make them pop. They get great legs, you know, great legs on nymphs. They make great tails and stuff, and that's primarily what I would use these for. So I don't like to leave them there, but I'm not going to pluck them all in the video, but you get the gist of it there, what I'm taking off it. So and then the back feathers, so the lower back, so coming down in the mid back to the lower back down to the tail, you have these little feathers here, and these are a really nice little feather. Now they're very, very small little feather, very small little feather. You can take them. I'm not going to take them today, but you can take them. And for the same thing, I like to hackle small nymphs with them. Gives at the end of it, just behind the bead, if I'm tying on a bead onto the nymph, I like to just, what I do is very same as you were tying in a patch feather or CDC or whatever. I like to just strip it back like that from the tip and tie it in, and then just give it 1 or 2 turns around the nymph, and that gives a nice little hackle, and again adds a little bit of a pop or adds a little bit of life to your nymph. But I have enough of them in a bag already, so I'm not really going to take them. Coming down, you still see the barn coming from the flank coming down onto the back of the legs there. You can take them and add them to your flank feathers there. And then you've got your tail feathers just above the CDC. Again, they're a lovely soft little feather. Again, make great tails and stuff. Again, I have enough of them, so I'm not going to take them there. On it, you can come up, and if you come onto the head, you have a lovely, I'll just get into shot for you. So on the head, you've got a lovely green feather, and if you take them, just pluck them, you'll see them there. Like the CDC, they're similar to a CDC. They won't float, but they're similar to a CDC in kind of the way they look. Again, these make great little tails and stuff, so you can take them if you want. But that is primarily it on a teal. You can take the belly feathers. The belly feathers are just white feathers. They're not. There's no real design going through them. Just a nice white feather. I don't usually take the belly feathers off a teal. I've taken basically what I've wanted there now. that's the main scope of the feathers I will take off. And so I'll continue to take. I know there's a lot of feathers on it. I'm not going to pluck the duck fully on the video, but that's the main scope of the feathers that I will take off the tail. Now I'll continue to take all these barbed feathers here, and the ones I didn't take down at the lower legs here and down in here, I will take them, and I'll take them up off the rest of the shoulder and stuff. But that's primarily it with a teal, guys. So yeah, if you manage to get your hands on a teal, you can resort back to this video and use it as a reference, and it'll give you a good reference point to what you want to take off the teal. But like I said, you know, every feather can be used for tying, so never limit yourself to what you want. If you like to put your own spin and flies and like to tie your own patterns, then why not put the feathers to use. I've got a good lot of feathers in storage already from the teal, so I'm not really going to pluck the whole feathers off them. I'm just not, it's not what all the feathers I don't really use. It's mainly the flanks, the shoulders is primarily what I would use, and like I said, I tie a lot of nymphs with them. So but that's it, guys. So look, I hope you enjoy watching. I hope this helps you in harvesting your feathers from a teal, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.